Everyone keeps asking me one question over and over again. When is SIDRA listing? How will the KYC be done? Is SIDRA really going to list at all? Some people are even doubting SIDRA completely because someone commented that I don't think SIDRA will list in the next 5 years. Now, I know a lot of you are feeling the same way, but before we dive into all those questions, let me pause right here. I'm here to build a large and powerful community of believers, early movers, and patient holders. If you want to join me on this journey, make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because we are going to grow together, learn together, and eventually celebrate together when SIDRA finally makes its move. Now let's go back to the questions everyone keeps throwing at me. Remember when everyone said Pi Network would never launch? Let me ask you this. Do you remember when Pi Network was the hot topic? Back then, everyone said it was just a scam, that it would never launch, that nobody would make any money from it. Even one of my closest friends told me, "You are wasting your time mining Pi on your phone. That thing will never be worth anything." But guess what? When Pi finally launched, I made my first $3,000 from it. And that wasn't even money I worked hard for. It was free. It came from the biggest airdrop I had ever seen. I didn't expect it. I didn't believe it would actually happen until it finally did. And the day Pi Network listed, I cashed out. And that's when I realized, patience pays. So why am I telling you this? Because the exact same story is happening again right now with SIDRA. The curiosity around SIDRA listing. Everyone is so curious about SIDRA. They want to know, when will SIDRA finally list? Why is it taking so long? How will the KYC process work? What exactly do the SIDRA developers have in store for the community? And while we don't have all the official answers yet, what we do know is this. SIDRA can announce the listing date at any time, just like Pi Network did. One day people were doubting Pi, and the next day it was listed, catching almost everyone by surprise. That's exactly how this industry works. The truth is, projects that want to last long don't rush their listing. They don't just go to any small exchange and launch for the hype. They take their time because they're building real partnerships, securing licenses, and making sure that the KYC process is strong enough to handle millions of users worldwide. Why the delay might actually be a good thing. Now let's be real, delays are frustrating. We all want to see SIDRA listed as soon as possible, but sometimes a delay is a sign of something bigger. Think about it. If SIDRA wanted to list just for hype, it could have already done that. If SIDRA wanted to make a quick exit, they would have rushed the process. But if SIDRA is actually preparing for long-term success, then the delay makes sense. It means they are taking time to negotiate with major exchanges, to set up a fair KYC process that doesn't exclude users from certain countries, and to create a system that actually benefits the community rather than just a few whales. Understanding the KYC process. Now about KYC. A lot of people are confused. Some think it will be too complicated. Others are worried about privacy. But let's break it down. KYC, Know Your Customer, is simply a process to verify your identity. Almost every exchange requires it now. It protects you from fraud, and it protects the platform from being used illegally. Yes, it can sometimes take time to get verified, but once it's done, you're set for life. SIDRA's KYC is expected to follow the same process. Submit your government ID. Take a selfie for verification. Wait for approval. It may sound boring, but it's necessary. Without KYC, most exchanges won't even list a token, especially in 2025 when regulations are stricter than ever. The power of community patience. Here's the thing. Projects like SIDRA are not just about technology, they're about community. If the community gives up too early, the project dies before it even gets a chance to grow. But if the community stays strong, supports the project, spreads the word, and waits patiently, then the project has no choice but to succeed. Remember, Pi Network was successful not because of its technology alone, but because of the millions of people who kept mining, waiting, and believing, even when the world called it a scam. SIDRA is on the same path. Right now, people are doubting, people are laughing, people are calling it a waste of time. But the smart ones, the patient ones, are the ones who will celebrate when the listing finally comes right. Final thoughts. Listing can happen anytime. So my advice to you is this. Don't get discouraged by negative comments. Don't let someone who has no vision convince you to quit. Just because one person said SIDRA won't list for 5 years doesn't mean that's true. The crypto industry moves fast. SIDRA can announce a listing date anytime, even tomorrow. We don't control the timing, but we do control our patience, our belief, and our preparation. If you really believe in the SIDRA community, stay active, stay positive, and stay prepared. Because when the announcement comes, it will come fast. And those who gave up will regret it, just like many regretted giving up on Pi Network. So what do you think? Are you ready to hold strong with me until SIDRA finally lists? If yes, then make sure you subscribe to Satoshi Guy, hit the notification bell, and let's keep growing this amazing community together. Because remember, in crypto, the patient are always rewarded.